right, thank you for being there. Now, looking at the power sector, so many consumers of electricity in Nigeria have been unmetered, and that has resulted to estimated billing. Now, some time ago, when we had a discussion with the public affairs head of Benin Electricity Distribution Company, one of the reasons he gave for meters not being readily available sometimes, and even the high cost of meters, is that they are imported, and because of the high cost. Now, I have with me here a power consultant and energy expert, the person of Dr. Brightence Ogiewonyi. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Brightence, why do we have to import meters when we would think that perhaps there's something that can be done here? Is it impossible for we to have indigenous manufacturers of meters?
Well, the truth is that if you want to have indigenous people to build the prepaid meter, it's very simple and it's easy. But the problem we are facing in this country is there are too many policies when you want to start manufacturing the hardware. To build the hardware of prepaid meter is easy to do. But where there's a problem is the software. You know, for prepaid meters, you will need to pay some money. They give you a number you're going to type into the meter to be able to start reading your bill.
Okay.
Now, that software is being owned by foreign countries, foreign companies. So if you want to produce the prepaid meter locally, the government must come in. The government should be able to pay off the people who have the patent right for the software. That is where the problem is. If you are not going to be found liable for producing or diving into the software, then you would have seen people doing this prepaid meter. You will just get it and buy it around on the streets or in an electrical store. But the problem is, if you do the hardware, how do you incorporate the software without being arrested for violating somebody's patent right? That is where the problem is.
Okay. Now, knowing that this is the challenge, why do you think up to now, government, even the regulator, NEC, has not come into a matter like this so that we can have indigenous producers of meters and then electricity consumers can be metered?
You see, this thing is politicized. That is the gospel truth. It's politicized. If the government wants this thing to work, there are a lot of stages that the government must be involved.
Okay,
not just building. Now, let me give an example. For example, we talk of power generation. There is the generating aspect of the power. There is the transmission aspect of the power.
Okay.
There is the distribution aspect of the power. So if government will be sincere, first, the generation. If you generate, for example, maybe 7,000 megawatts or 10,000 megawatts, and then the distribution lines are bad, how do you do it? How do you move it to the end users? Or to transmit it from wherever the power has been generated, you have problem with the lines, of transmission lines. Okay. What will you do? Now he gets to the fuel that will now get to the distribution unit. Now we are having troubles where every community now in the country is developing by the day. People are buying houses or building houses, buying a lot of electrical stores. Ideally, a nation that is serious when it comes to power, electric power solutions is, number one, every five years, for example, the transformers must be replaced with a bigger transformer because the community is expanding. In this country, we find a situation whereby we see a particular transformer that has been there for maybe 20, 30 years. And then insincerity where people will tell you it is the responsibility of the discos to replace your transformers, for example. Whereas in reality, when it is time for you to replace transformer, you will see landlords coming together to contribute money to be able to change the transformer. Then when you do that, somebody comes back again to tell you that that property belongs to the disco. I don't want to mention any of the disco's name. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the insincerity here and there, or you build a house, you want to put a pole that you can use to extend the power line to your house. You use your money to buy it, you use your money to do the wiring. Tomorrow somebody will come and tell you that that pole, that wire belongs to the disco. So there's a lot of insincerity in this whole thing. But if the government is ready to make this thing work, building indigenous prepaid meter is, in fact, as for me, I will speak for myself that it is the easiest thing for me to do. Because I'm an electrical electronics inventor. I'm not an engineer, but I'm an electrical electronics inventor. If you go through my profile, you will see the things I've invented and the innovative works I've done when it comes to do with these power issues.
Okay, so it is very possible for us to have indigenous producers of meters. Well, I think that's a fine place to leave the discussion here. Thank you very much, Dr. Brightence Ogiewonyi, for coming on the show. Now, we do hope that those in the right positions, those in authority, NEC, and the federal government should work hand in hand to ensure that we have indigenous manufacturers of these meters. At least for one, it will help that every electric consumer is metered, so you know what you consume. And then the rift is always between discos and consumers would not actually be there, and will also empower that industry. So once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
I'm Blessing H. Until next week, stay safe.